Hiring your very first employees is one of the most important milestones in the life of any startup. Up until this point, the company's been fueled primarily by the vision, sweat, and relentless energy of the founders. But eventually, the workload becomes too great, the skill sets required become too diverse, and the ambition outpaces what two or three people can realistically achieve alone. That's when hiring begins. But it's not just about finding warm bodies to fill roles. It's about making high stakes choices that will define the company for years to come. These first employees will shape the culture, the speed of execution, and even the reputation of the company in the eyes of investors and customers. Get it right, and you lay the foundation for long term success. Get it wrong, and you risk burning runway, sowing misalignment, and even damaging your startup's trajectory at the stage when it's most fragile. This is why hiring your first employees must be done with intention, care, and strategic foresight. The significance of the first hires cannot be overstated. The first reason is culture foundation. The DNA of your company culture is written by the earliest people you bring in. Their work habits, values, and attitudes will be amplified and repeated as the team grows. If your first hires embody collaboration, scrappiness, and mission driven energy, those traits will spread naturally. If they embody bureaucracy, ego, or complacency, those too will spread, often irreversibly. The second reason is high stakes decisions. Early hires are extremely expensive in terms of both money and opportunity cost. A wrong hire at this stage doesn't just cost salary, it can derail execution, burn precious cash, and create misalignment at the very moment you need unity. Later on, a single poor performer might be absorbed into a larger team, but early on, every person is a major percentage of your workforce. The third reason is the network effect. Your first 5 employees often influence the next 50. They bring in their friends, they set performance standards, and they establish what good looks like in your organization. Their networks become your recruiting pipeline, and their reputation signals to others whether this is a place worth joining. Finally, there's the investor signal. Investors watch your team composition closely. They know early employees reveal a lot about a founder's judgment. If you're able to attract exceptional talent despite limited resources, that's a powerful indicator of future success. If your first hires look like vanity hires or misaligned fits, it raises red flags. In other words, your early hires don't just fill roles, they shape the soul, the pace, and the credibility of your company. One of the hardest questions for founders is not who to hire, but when. Timing is critical, and hiring too early or too late can be equally damaging. The first signal is founder capacity. When the core team is stretched to the breaking point on tasks that directly impact growth or product delivery, it's time to bring in reinforcements. If the founders are spending more time juggling administrative tasks than building the business, growth will stall. The second moment is post MVP validation. Once you've proven the product works at a basic level and the market wants it, the challenge shifts to scaling. At this stage, additional hands are needed to capture opportunity quickly before competitors surge ahead. The third is the growth unlock. Sometimes there's a specific role that can unlock immediate progress: a salesperson to accelerate revenue, a designer to polish usability, or a customer support lead to reduce churn. Strategic hires like this can remove bottlenecks and create disproportionate impact. But equally important is knowing when not to hire. Hiring before product market fit is dangerous. Bringing in people too soon wastes cash and risks building processes or bureaucracy around an unproven product. Until you know your direction, preserve runway for iteration. The golden rule is this: hire too early and you burn cash, hire too late and you miss opportunities. The art is in balancing urgency with discipline. Once timing is clear, the next question is who. The earliest hires must be chosen not just for skills, but for adaptability, mindset, and mission alignment. The first category is generalists. In the early days, you need versatile people who can wear multiple hats and pivot as priorities change. They may write code one day, handle customer calls the next, and brainstorm marketing strategies the day after. Startups are fluid, and generalists thrive in fluidity. The second category is builders. These are engineers, designers, and operators who directly contribute to the core product or service. Their work is not auxiliary, it is foundational. Without them, your company cannot deliver what it promises. The third category is customer facing talent. As traction grows, customer support, customer success, and early sales roles become critical. These hires ensure customers are not just acquired, but also retained, delighted, and turned into advocates. What you must avoid at this stage are vanity hires. Fancy titles or high profile resumes may impress outsiders, but if the person doesn't materially contribute, they will weigh the company down. Substance must always matter more than status. Rally hires should be judged on contribution, not cosmetics. The truth is simple. Your first hires should be doers, not overseers. People who build, fix, adapt, and hustle alongside you. Recruiting in the early days requires creativity and persistence. Without the brand recognition or big salaries of established companies, you must lean on different strategies. The first is to tap networks. Leverage your personal connections, ask for referrals from trusted peers, and engage with startup communities. Early hires often come through personal networks where trust and reputation are already established. The second is to seek mission driven people. You're not competing with big tech on cash. Instead, appeal to candidates who are motivated by the mission and vision of your company. People who believe in your purpose will work harder and stay longer than those who are simply chasing a paycheck. The third is to use equity creatively. Share ownership when cash is limited. Equity isn't just compensation, it's commitment. It transforms employees into partners invested in the long term success of the company. The fourth is to prioritize passion over pedigree. Don't be blinded by impressive resumes or corporate brand names. Instead, look for adaptability, grit, and cultural fit. A passionate, adaptable person from a scrappy background often outperforms a pedigreed but disengaged hire. Finding the right early employees is not about competing with Google on salary. It's about competing with purpose, vision, and ownership. The theory becomes clearer when we look at real world stories. Take Airbnb. In their early days, the company's biggest bottleneck was growing the supply of hosts. Instead of hiring flashy executives, they focused on community managers who could directly solve this challenge. These hires grew supply, improved trust, and unlocked the network effects that powered Airbnb's rise. Or look at Stripe. The Collison brothers obsessed over product quality and developer experience. Their early hires reflected this focus. They hired engineers who were equally obsessed with elegant code and seamless user experience. This built Stripe's moat and reputation with developers worldwide. Contrast that with a common mistake: hiring too corporate too early. Startups that bring in executives from large companies before they found product market fit often find themselves drowning in processes, PowerPoint decks, and bureaucracy. What they really need are builders and missionaries, not managers and mercenaries. The lesson is universal. Your first hires should be true believers, missionaries who see a vision and want to help build it, not mercenaries chasing titles or short term rewards. The difference between these two mindsets can determine whether your startup thrives or stalls. Hiring your first employees is not just about filling roles, it's about shaping the DNA of your company. These hires matter because they set the cultural tone. influence execution speed, attract future talent, and signal credibility to investors. The timing must be carefully judged. Too early wastes cash, too late misses opportunities. The who must be chosen wisely: generalists, builders, and customer facing missionaries who prioritize contribution over vanity. The how relies on networks, mission, equity, and passion over pedigree. The stories of Airbnb and Stripe prove that thoughtful hiring choices compound into long term advantages, while premature or misaligned hires can cripple momentum. The final takeaway is this: your first employees are not just workers, they are co architects of your company's future. Treat hiring as one of your most strategic decisions. Be intentional, be patient, and prioritize alignment over anything else. If you do, you won't just hire employees, you'll build a team that helps transform your vision into reality.